About a year ago, I made a video, one that kinda got me in some hot water with some people. Some decided they would rather not associate with me after that. A few cheered me on, but one of the more interesting things was some people thought it'd be a solid idea to look into legally coming after me. Wouldn't be the first time, but a first for a video. In some ways, that video was a mild turning point for me. Yes, it wasn't until a Rule of Rose video that I got more eyes on what I'm doing, but this video planted a seed. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, it was my video discussing Denis Dyack and why I'm not excited for his newest project, Deadhaus Sonata. The first thing I would like to say, 1 year later, was that I did cover a few things that does hit a little below the belt. Not an uppercut to one's taint, but it was close enough. It was meant to show a pattern of poor decision making and trusting the wrong things, but I don't think I explained where I was coming from very well. I won't apologize for that point, or the video in general, but I will take some accountability for not explaining myself very well. The second thing I think is super important to point out is this. Denis Dyack shouldn't care what I think, and frankly, I don't think he ever did, nor should he. The man has had a hand in making iconic video games for a very long time, and some of those are personal favorites. The man, despite any shortcomings, is kind of an icon. This follow-up video is not a hit piece on him as a person. It is not targeted harassment of the studio. It's a way to look over the last year since I made that video, the reaction videos I made, and what the studio has shown since then. I guess in some way, this is the horror historian being kind of petty and looking back to say, I was right. The video I made definitely hurt some feelings, and I feel bad for one of them. The rest can kind of get bent, to be honest. The one thing they seemed to get mad at wasn't the fact that I brought up valid points. It was more about how I used a live stream that I was actually a part of. That's right. Me pointing out that this new game is mirroring that of 2 Human with a constant changing of engines wasn't the issue, but using the live stream. Didn't have anything to do that there seems to be a history of Dyack having the wrong people around him that has sidelined some of his projects and not the man himself. That there was some shadiness in the X-Men Destiny game, with money possibly going to where it shouldn't go, or at least not being the smartest with planning out a game that could destroy the studio. The current game is being handled poorly. The way the previously 2 games were ran during development points, there being an issue, and I said it in that video. We wouldn't know how poorly it's being handled if they weren't talking about it. The next video I made on Deadhaus Sonata, which was a reaction video, and wow, I was really trying to be generous with this video. After 5 years, they had nothing to show. The video was something that frankly should have never been shown, and all it really did was show how little they actually have of the game. They shown off some horrendous looking wall running, basic maneuvers, crouching and climbing a ladder. 5 years, and this is the best they could show us. I know this sounds very harsh, but seriously, they could have shown something that people who aren't stans could be excited for, and they just couldn't. Looking at some of the comments under this video makes me wonder just how people can be so delusional when it comes to how the game is actually coming along. Like one man said in the video response, it's going to take time. Yes, it will. In order to understand, personally, I've tried my hand at game development, and oh boy, it is not going well at all. The person I just referred to, his name is Calypso, and they have the most level-headed response I think anyone could have asked for. It was very respectful and took the time to have a conversation, so massive props to him. On the same note, I'm afraid to say, homie, you drank the Kool-Aid, because if this is all they can show after now about 6 years of development, more time isn't what they're going to end up needing. The second video I did was an overview video they released. This one, we actually learned a little bit about the character types and some of the other game mechanics, which was nice. But was it enough? Even in that video, I don't look all that impressed. So where does that leave us? Some lackluster updates? Even if it's not what I want, that's only a few videos in the course of a year, so surely more has been shown, right? Right? Well, there were some lore videos, which is always kind of neat if you're like me and very into lore. As far as the game goes, we got one more update, and that was an enemy. Nothing about other character classes and how they would play, but a generic looking character that frankly looked like a Bloodborne cosplayer. Yet again, harsh, I know. And I also know it's not finished, because the last thing you do is polish. So we can easily give that a pass. But after that, nothing. The Twitter is basically dead. No Twitch streams since December. No public updates. Now, if you want updates on what's going on, even if it's just bits and pieces, you have to go to the Discord channel. I have a few updates from there. I don't waste my time there or really in any Discord at this point. I kind of wonder why I still have an account some days. By the way, I think the only Discord that is more dead than my own is that of the Deadhaus Sonata. Since I'm no longer a Twitch streamer, it's pretty damn dead these days, if that tells you anything. So at the time of this writing, one thing I'm starting to believe is that it's not a matter of that they are so busy they are unable to update the social media like they used to, but instead I'm guessing they are starting to run out of money. I'm not sure how they can keep going with staff after 6 years they have yet to put out a product. Now they have merch. I own one of the shirts, and I know some others who do too. But whales will only stick around for so long before they are sick of the shit and bail. Are we at that point yet? I might not even take advantage of my founders pack I won from the company. I don't think all the issue are the fault of one man, but after a while it seems like his ability to make good business decisions is questionable at best. He has dealt with all three major companies, and it seems like none of them are willing to sign him to another deal. Constantly changing game engines and losing his community's interest. Again, how can you fail crowdfunding for a spiritual successor to Eternal Darkness? I honestly think there's a high chance the game will sputter out. If the fans, people like me, are losing interest already, then the smoke we've already begun to see is leading to a rather large dumpster fire.